How are we going, everyone? Today we're going to talk about pot-bound plants. Just a little one, not too much. And then again, I'll probably talk for too much like I am now already. How do you like that? Anyway, how do you know if a plant is pot-bound? Well, first things first, it'll start to discolour on top. It'll go yellow, silvery colour, it'll drop its leaves, it'll wilt. It'll show no good signs of new growth on it, and every time you water it, it doesn't last for long. So you may be able to hydrate it, the leaves pop up, and then within a couple of hours or so, they start to wilt again. And that means the water's not actually penetrating through the middle. If it's a small pot like this little rhodo that I've got here, you can pick it up and put it in a large pot or a bucket and soak it and give it a good soak. But also then check out the root system. See, now rhodies, they've got very fibrous roots. They do have some anchoring roots on it, but most of it are fibrous like that. See how all matted around they are? Now, they've been in this pot for probably a couple of years now, a year and a half. You can see there's a couple of cycles of growth here. We've had it pruned once in the middle, so that's the first time, and then it's come up to here, it's been pruned again, and it's suckered up again from there on. So we've got at least a couple of years of growth here, and these roots here need to go into a larger pot. You can tease them out if you like, but ever so carefully, because all you're going to do is end up tearing them and causing the plant to go slightly backwards. So just a little tease. Some people get right into them and pull them apart like that. I don't do that. I mean, unless it's a really robust plant and it needs a good hiding, like a lily-pilly or something like that. That needs to be repotted. Easily done, easily saved, and it'll be nice and healthy. Use a quality potting mix or compost and superfood and blackroot and all the wonderful stuff we talk about. So small plants like that can be easily potted up to the next size. But the other one is, and a lot of emails come through, questions on trees that are pot bound and whether they should be left to sit on the ground, the pot itself as well. And if the roots will end up going through the pot or not. So if you've got a pot plant that's sitting on the ground and it's soil underneath there, chances are, and 99.99% time, the roots will eventually grow through the holes on the side of the pots. And I'll show you an example here what I mean. These are holes on the side of the pots here, like that there. As the roots grow down, they'll pick up on that, and eventually they'll push their way through and smell the wonderful nutrients down below, which is the soil below, and anchor themselves into the ground below. And that will happen time and time again if the plant is left to grow on its own and you do not rotate. Couple of tips: if it's sitting on the spot and you don't want to elevate it, every month or two, go around and spin it around, or pick it up and inspect the base and then put it back down. That way you're disturbing any potential roots growing through the pot into the ground. And if they have grown, then you'll spot them straight away before they get too big and too invasive and too thick to cut off. So every couple of months, see if you can, depending on the size of the plant. And if it's a very big pot and you can't lift it, well, the option is to put pot feet. And they're available. Pot feet can be made by timber if you like, or you can buy the pot feet out of clay and they're glazed on top. All you're doing is elevating the pot off the ground by about an inch, 25 to 50 mil. Get it off the ground so you've got good airflow, and it serves a couple of purposes. Stops all the nasty grubs like snails and slugs getting in through the holes and nesting inside the plants, because they do that all the time. And it also stops moisture building up and clogging up the holes with the soil, so you've got better airflow. So it's 100 times better to have the pot elevated off the ground, or otherwise this is what will happen. Have a look at this. This is our elderberry plant. I left it there for about 6 months to grow, and that's how fast it's grown. Look at that. These roots have grown into the ground because it was sitting on crushed rock in an area that I had protected from the cold weather, and it was crushed rock at the base, yet it's grown into it. So that has already taken off. This within the next month, I'm going to cut them off and repot this, because we're going into winter and the plant will be quite safe to be handled that way without it going too far backwards on us. So pot-bound plants, many different scenarios, and everyone's different. Obviously, environment, that is microclimates. Pick your pot plants up if they're sitting on the ground and they've been there for too long, to make sure they're not getting their roots grown into the ground, or repot them into the next size up and soak the root ball so that it gets well hydrated. Tease it a little bit and pot it up into the next size up and give it a good feed. And that way your plants will love you forever. Check out our website, vasilisgarden.com, for all the gardening products you need. Our end of autumn clearance sale is going to finish. There's only a day or two to go, folks. Don't miss out on the great specials. vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasili Maresi.